Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the density by another point of view. In other videos, we studied density by reminding you, I'm going to write it here, by having this equation for the density. Density is defined relationship between mass and volume of one object. We have two types of unit for the density, gram per ml or gram per centimeter cube. And I told you density of water is going to consider 1.00 gram per ml. And I told you density can act like a conversion factor. For example, if we say density of one object is 2.05 grams per ml, it means we may say 2.05 grams of that object is going to occupy 1 ml because always we say gram per 1 ml. It means 1 ml. So they are something we already reviewed in our class before the watching this video. Right now, I'm going to remind you how to measure the density of different objects in the chemistry labs. So when we say density, we talk about the measurement of two parameters. We need to measure mass, we need to measure volume, and then divide mass by volume. So if you divide mass by volume, so you may find the mass over volume, you may find the density. You can measure the density. So mass divided by volume. Right now, I'm going to show you how to measure the density in the lab. When you work in the lab, to measure the mass, you need to use a balance or a scale. So in our labs, we have balance room or we have several scales over there. Most of them, they are digital balances. So you just need to put your object on the balance and measure the mass. So it would be very easy to measure volume, to measure mass of any objects. But whenever we are going to work on volume, we need to consider a couple things. When you are going to measure the volume, we may have two types of volume. When we have solid or liquid, we may do that one for the gases, but we prefer to work with the solid and liquid in this video because our focus are solid and liquid. For solid, we may have regular or irregular shaped solid. Let me write by this form to help you to have better understanding. Regular or irregular shaped solid. And for liquid, we have only one form, liquid. For regular shaped solid, I'm going to remind you, this is a reminder, I'm sure all of you that watching this video remember that for regular shaped solid like this one, like a cube, assume that this is a cube, or if we have rectangular cube, we have formula to measure the volume. Formula, if we have irregular shape, we have regular shape solid like this rectangular cube. Volume is A times B times C, ABC. Each side must be multiplied by another side. So three sides you must multiply A times B times C. For cubic solids, all sides, as you see here, we have A for all sides. So all sides are same. So volume is A times A times A. So it looks A cube. So volume is A cube. So you already know something about this solid in regular shape form. If we have another type of regular shape solid form, you can easily look at the literature, handbook, and find the volume for them. But these two types mostly used in the chemistry labs. I'm going to give you one example. Assume that I have one cube. This cube has 2.0 centimeter for each side. And we are going to know how to measure volume for this one. Volume is 2.0 centimeter, and I have to use cube. Right now, you just need to use your calculator to get the answer. So let me write this answer here. 2.0 cube, it means 8.0, and centimeter cube. One thing I may ask you to pay attention, both numbers and units should be reported in cubic forms. So I write it here, not only numbers, but also units must be considered for this cubic format, 8.0 centimeter cube. And I already talked about that. 1 ml, as you see here, 1 ml, it was like 1 centimeter cube. Do you remember that? In the another video, I already talked about this. So you may say volume for this object is 8.0 centimeter cube or 8.0 ml. So whenever we have regular shaped solid, you can easily measure each side, and then based on the type of the solid, you may use one of these two equations, and make sure your final answer for the volume must be reported is either this centimeter cube or that ml. So this is the one thing you should know for irregular shaped solid. If we have irregular shaped solid, we need to use one method, we call that displacement method, that I may ask you to watch another video. Thank you for watching this short review regarding the density measurement for regular shaped solid in the lab.